We often see different people working in different fields. Some of them work on farms, factories, or banks, while others work in shops and at home. All these people work in different fields. These people work for their livelihood. This state is called the state of being employed. Being employed gives us a sense of self-worth and enable us to relate ourselves meaningfully with others. In this chapter, we will learn about meaning of employee and worker, rate of employment in India, sectoral distribution of workforce, growth of employment and GDP, classification of workforce, distinction between formal sector and informal sector, training and methods of training, unemployment and its types, causes of unemployment, consequences of unemployment, suggestions to solve unemployment problems, and efforts made by the government to solve unemployment problems. Meaning of employee and worker. Employment is that situation in which a person is willing to work at the existing wage rate, whereas all those persons who are engaged in production activities are called workers. Types of workers. Workers are of three types: self-employed workers, casual wage workers, and regular salaried workers.
Worker population ratio. Worker population ratio is an indicator used for analyzing employment situation in the country. It is useful for knowing the proportion of population actively contributing to the production of goods and services of a country. Higher the ratio, higher will be the people's participation in employment or economic activities and vice versa. We can calculate the worker population ratio in the following manner. The table shows the worker population ratio of India in 2009 and 2010.
Sectoral distribution of workforce. Agriculture, mining, and quarrying contribute to primary sector. Manufacturing, electricity, gas and water contribute to secondary sector. And construction, trade, transport, and other services contribute to tertiary sector.
The table shows the distribution of workforce by industry. During the period 1950 to 2010, the gross domestic product or GDP of India grew positively. However, the employment growth has constantly remained below GDP. Moreover, the gap between the growth of GDP and employment widened during this period. There has been a substantial shift from farm work to non-farm work during the period of 1972 to 2012. While in 1972 to 73, about 74% of workforce was engaged in primary sector, this proportion declined to about 50% in 2011 to 2012. As far as distribution of workforce in different status is concerned, people have moved from self-employment and regular salaried employment to casual wage jobs during the period of 1972 to 2012.
Classification of workforce. Workforce can be classified in formal sector and informal sector.
Organized sector or formal sector includes people who are employed with the organizations registered by the government. It is called organized because it has some formal processes and procedures. Unorganized sector or informal sector includes people who are employed in the small and scattered units, which are largely outside the control of the government. No rules and regulations are followed.
Distinction between formal sector and informal sector.
Informalization of workforce. In India, with development, the informal sector has grown rather than the formal sector. Out of the workforce of 400 million, only 28 million are in the formal sector, while 372 million are in the informal sector. Out of the 28 million in the formal sector, only 4.8 million are women. And in informal sector, 118.2 million workers are women. Causes of informalization of workforce. Causes of informalization of workforce
are closing down of the enterprises, losses of the public sector, new economic reforms, increasing population and unemployment. Training and methods of training. Training is one of the methods by which a person learns the skills of his profession. Training can be given through family members, an institution, or while doing the job. Unemployment and its types. Unemployment is a situation in which a person is ready and willing to work at the prevailing waging rate but does not get work. Unemployment is of two types: rural unemployment and urban unemployment. Rural unemployment can be classified as seasonal unemployment, disguised unemployment, and chronic unemployment. Urban employment can be classified as industrial unemployment, educated unemployment, and underemployment. Some more types of unemployment. There are certain more types of unemployment, including voluntary unemployment, involuntary unemployment, open unemployment, structural unemployment, frictional unemployment, and cyclical unemployment. Causes of unemployment. These are increase in population, failure of planning, neglect towards agriculture, neglect towards small-scale and cottage industries, slow industrial growth, defective education system, lack of mobility, and underutilization of installed capacity. Consequences of unemployment. These are economic consequences and social consequences. Economic consequences can be classified as low productivity, no proper utilization of manpower, and low capital formation. Social consequences are low quality of life and class struggle. Suggestions to solve unemployment problem. These include population control, adoption of labor-intensive techniques, rapid development of agriculture and industry, encouragement of small-scale and cottage industries, reform of the education system, increase in the mobility of labor, and full utilization of installed capacity. Government programs to solve unemployment problem. Government put emphasis on small-scale and cottage industries, check on population growth, integrated rural development program, National Rural Employment Program, Pradhan Mantri Gramoday Yojana, Swaran Jayanti Shahri Rozgar Yojana, Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Act, National Rural Livelihood Mission, and Aam Aadmi Bima Yojana.